Hi there and welcome to another episode here on Bustthenet. With FM18 around the corner, people usually start asking me questions like systems, like how do you build a great system of play that it's gonna allow you to sweep through entire seasons very quickly you know without even batting an eyelid, and that's very possible in this game. However, I tend to follow a specific model of playing, and I've used this since the days of championship managers. It works, so I'm never gonna mess with it because it works. So I'm gonna share this with you on today's quick video. The first thing, essentially, when it comes to developing a system, there are three things to remember. You're looking at your tactic, you're looking at longevity, and you're looking at options. These are the three main things that you wanna remember. So whenever you're building any kind of a system to play, you're gonna have to be able to answer these three questions every time you look at your system or every time you look at your club. The first thing you want to do is you want to look at your tactic and understand what your tactical options are within that tactic. You also want to train for those options. And finally, you want to go into games making player selections based on your options as well. So here, for example, I'm going to take a very quick example with the 4-4-2. Now, I used the 4-4-2 in one of my seasons with Gloucester City. I ended the previous season with the plan of using a 4-4-2 the following season. So what was the first thing that we did? We knew we didn't have a winger, so we went out and bought ourselves a winger. Now, when I looked at this winger the first time, I was really quick out of the gate. The first time I looked at him, I knew I had two options with this player. One, he can be an attacking winger. Two, he can also be a fullback. So it was a fantastic solution for us. And we went in, we paid like 30 million for him, and we brought him into the club. He has since become a very important part of our long-term success, and he has displaced the current number one fullback in the club, Pablo Mafio, who hasn't got a chance to play. I mean, he only comes in on occasion, and he still pulls in 7.23 ratings, with Elia Pipoli shooting far further ahead in terms of his abilities. So this is what I look at in terms of my options. So tactically, you will need to have your option A, option B. You go out, you plan for the future. If you're playing a specific tactic, then you have to make sure that you have the right players for it. Now, the second thing I did with my tactic was pretty simple. Now, within your own tactic, you're going to have situations where you have to come up with a plan B, or you're looking at a plan A and you're thinking to yourself, damn, I gotta come up with another alternative. Now, with my 4-4-2 system, we did come up with another alternative. I wanted to be able to play a football game and then overload certain areas of the pitch, if assuming I'm playing against a team that's very strong, like Manchester City, and they play with a 4-2-3-1, then okay, I need the option of overloading the middle so that I give them a bit more of a headache. Then against defensive teams, maybe I don't want to use the inverted wing back. I want to use an attacking wing back. Then I have to be able to swap things around. So what we did was we went and looked for to build that kind of a system. You need to know your tactic. You need to know what kind of options you can have. So it's really important that you know your own tactic. Here, this is my recommendation for people: do not go and change tactics willy-nilly. People do that all the time. The tactic doesn't work. It doesn't work, so they go out there, switch it up, and they throw it away, and they try and come up with another tactic. Then they have to go and buy players again, and then everything goes to shit. So my recommendation all the time is, if you want to build a system that works, you need to stick to one tactical system. And then from that one tactic, you can have lots of options. Like for my 4-4-2, he can be a fullback, he can be an inverted wing back, and in the middle of the pitch, sometimes I choose not to go for a tackler here, and I put somebody who's an attacking-minded player. I have options within my own system to switch things around if I need to, because here I know the attributes of my players. So you need to look at your players and give yourself an option within the same tactic. So within this tactic, I can go wide, play these guys as attacking wingbacks or attacking fullbacks. I can play a system that compresses space with inverted wingback. I can also go all Diego Simeone with the same tactic, with the same players, because I have been building a team around certain attributes. I build them around determination. I build them around work rate. I build the defenders around great mental. So I'm comfortable with options. So when you're looking at a system, it's a system firstly built around your tactic. The second thing you want to do is you want to also train for those options. So if you're gonna build a tactic and you want option A and option B, then go out there and train those players. Here in our particular case, we have this player called Zuniga. He came in as a defensive midfielder. We purchased him as a defensive midfielder. We retrained him as a inverted wingback, and he's gone on and he's performed admirably. In the Champions League, he's absolutely devastating. In the Premier League, he turns in really good performances. He's a very, very solid, capable inverted wingback, has the ability to play as a defensive midfielder, has the ability to play as a central midfielder, plenty of options. That's the way I play. When I play, I look at players who are versatile. So you need to train for versatility and you need to train for longevity. When you're training for longevity, what you're really doing is you're planning for the future. You're looking at your tactic 3 seasons down the track, 2 seasons down the track, and asking yourself whether you have enough cover in your youth to bring them through the ranks. So my system then also works on the basis that we want to bring our under 18s through the ranks. We want to tutor them as quickly as we can so that we can get rid of the really bad personality traits and try and get them on with great determination. Now, don't worry about low determination combined with professionalism. Over time, they do improve. Their determination does improve, but you need to have a plan in place for the future as well. And planning for the future means you got to take a look at youngsters coming through. You got to plan, you got to develop them, you got to look at your board, you got to go to your board, continually keep youth facilities being improved, training facilities have to be improved, coaching, your coaches need to be improved. You got to make sure that these are in a continual state of improvement. Now, this is all about building that system. It's not about the tactic is just one piece of the puzzle. You got to build a whole puzzle, all the pieces put together, and then you will see your safe explode. So what you gonna do is you're gonna be scouting. You're gonna be depending on your scouts. People have asked me this question. They've gone like, how do you find all these players? And I'm going like, I have a very simple methodology. Okay, it's really, really simple. First up, natural fitness. Anything above 12, I'll take. Anything below 12, I'm not interested. That's it. Second thing, stars, potential ability. As long as they're 3 star and above, I'll take. Second part. Okay, so then I start scouting them and I start looking at them. Now, if these players have, if they are semi-decent, then they might get a chance to play. Like this player, for example, he's 3.5 star. He actually comes from, if I'm not mistaken, we brought him in from Newcastle. Price was 500k. I looked at him and I went like, yeah, okay, I want to bring this player in. He looks half decent. So we purchased him and he was 16 years old. And I paid $500,000 for him because he looks promising. My coaches come in and tell me he's got 3.5 stars, almost 4 stars. He's still 1.5 stars. So this is the part that's very important. His CA is not equal to his PA yet. That means to say there's a lot of room for him to grow. So we keep him. Now he's got 1 more season left in the club. After that, I either play him or I loan him. So this is how I look at my long-term development. As long as the player has attributes in certain areas, I'll pick them up. For my defenders and my fullbacks, I'm usually looking at physicals as well as some mentals. Now here, his positioning was 10. I took him. His determination was 15. I didn't hesitate. His bravery was 12. And his physicals were quite good. And I went, okay, fine. Boom. Come and join GCFC. So this is what you need to do. You need to start planning for the future within your own system. So we've spoken about the tactic. We've spoken about longevity. Now let's revisit options one more time. Now options, when I talked about my options in my tactic, I need to have like an inverted wing back, a full back. I need to have option A, option B. I need to have a bench strategy. But how do you develop all of that? Right? How do you know what to do in a game? So the thing I do is I do match preparation. So when my match preparation training ahead of an important game, I might go to my team. If it's a really difficult game, I might use defensive positioning or train defensive set pieces for a really difficult game. If it's a match I'm expected to win, then I'll probably do match preparation for attacking movement and attacking set pieces. That's the first thing I do. The second thing that I do is I look at the opposition. I scout the opposition. I scout the players, and I scout the way they play. So if I'm playing a match against another opposition, I will go into this opposition, take a look at their senior squad, find a game where they have played well at home. Then I go into their team. I do an analysis of their key pass combinations and how they played their game, and I try to identify areas of the pitch where they were dominant. Then I will go into each and every single player. Then I will look at their attributes to determine what kind of players they are. Now, I've done detailed videos on key pass combinations and how I approach this, and these are available. But the essential gist of it is this: you do your key pass combinations to find out where they favor their play. Then the next step is for you to scout the various players to find out their strengths. If they have high acceleration, you know that you can't really time mark them. If they're great at passing, you know you got to stop them from getting passing options. So these are the things that I do. That's how I prepare. Then when I go into my tactic, if I notice, like in this particular case, West Bromwich Albion, they have this trident here that I have to stop: Hussel, Barrett, and Leon. So this is the group of players that I really, really need to stop from playing. So I will go into this match, and in my 4-4-2, I'll ask myself whether I have options to play. Now, this 4-4-2 has been created simply so that I can overload the left side of the pitch. But with the way they are playing, I need to overload the right side of the pitch so I can shut them down. So in this particular case, I just flip-flop my tactics slightly. My players can play in alternate positions because that's been my training plan all along. I work on creating options for our team, and here I'll just overload this side of the pitch of my 4-4-2 and shut them up there and then go for the win. So here we are going to be working on defeating Hull at the source, where they create all their chances. So essentially, when you're looking at your system, when you want to develop a system, there are 3 factors you need to remember. You're going to have to remember that you're going to be looking at a tactic, you're going to be looking at longevity, you're going to be looking at options. You need to understand your tactical options, you need to train for those options, and you need to make the player selections based with those options in mind. For your longevity, you want to scout for the future, and you want to train your players to give you those kind of options in games. And this requires tutoring and maybe getting them to play in new positions in the long term. Finally, your system also requires you to prepare for matches the right way. You might need to set up match preparations in a certain way. Then you need to scout the opposition, you need to scout the players, and you need to come up with a plan by looking at tactic and coming up with options. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on how to create a system for your club. And if you have any questions, find me on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com. Once again, I'd like to thank all my patrons that continue to support this channel. This video would not have been possible had it not been for a question that somebody asked me on Discord. So thank you very much. You guys take care, have fun, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.